What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. I am Ross Sapp. This is your TNA Impact review for the AMC debut. Joel Pearl is not here. He has had a case of food poisoning this evening. He was to reunite with the legendary Cresta, but instead you got me. Cresta will be joining us momentarily, but listen, your boy ain't reviewing many shows at 11 at night these days. So I said, let's go ahead and get started. Had a ton of scoops on Fightful Select all week long. We got even more for you tonight. Leave a thumbs up on this video. Just a reminder for those of you that are getting into TNA, we are the longest running TNA post show of any wrestling website out there. We've been doing it for a long time. And we are going to be talking about this AMC show. First off, let's get this out of the way. I don't do a lot of TNA coverage. Like occasionally I'll pop on and do some scoops and things like that. Cover plenty of their news, right? TNA landing on AMC is objectively huge for them. A legitimately great channel, a legitimately great time slot, great place to be. This show was real bad, with the exception of a couple of moments and the majority of the main event. I felt like this show was a gigantic miss if you were looking to say, hey guys, you have to watch this show every week. We saw a couple of things very specifically that I was like, I don't know about that, man. Get your super chats and humper chats in, by the way. But there were two specific videos that I watched, and I go, yeah, that was the TNA that I love. It was the Knockouts Division video package and the X Division video package. The X Division made me really, really love TNA at a period of which there was not a lot to love on American wrestling TV back in the mid to late 2000s. It was so different than everything else. It was so different than what I got to watch on Mondays and I think Fridays at that point. And it really stood out. And what those two video packages did just reminded me of how far they have fallen with the booking of their women and the booking of the X Division. Where was an X Division showcase tonight? Where was just a regular women's showcase tonight? We got a women's match. Wasn't good, but we got one. We didn't get a straight up X Division match. We didn't get any of that. But you know what? I like to showcase our younger talent. I like to showcase our better talent. That's why I've got Cresta right here. Look at her. Look at her. Bringing her back for the TNA coverage.
Y'all can't get rid of me. You thought you could, but guess what, Mimi? Hi. Hello, everybody. TNA.
Oh, well, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm going to be
I wouldn't go that far. But listen, I'm going to give people a Fightful Select plug in addition to all the news that we've broken this week. If you want to hear me talk about some really good TNA, the first episode of SRS 10 is going to air on Fightful Select this weekend. I'm going to watch along a match I rated 10 out of 10. And quite frankly, it's probably my favorite match ever. It's Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles, TNA Unbreakable. And when I was just saying, Cresta, they aired these two video packages during the show. One about the Knockouts Division and the history of it, and one about the X Division. And then neither were really appropriately highlighted in the ring. I felt like this whole show was a gigantic miss for what you could do to bring people in to watch TNA.
I mean, I want to give them grace. You're the scoops guy, but word on the street is that they had visa issues.
Not that many.
I'm gonna say, I know
that
one
many.
of those is not true, but I'm gonna give it to you that way. That being said, I see what you tried to do. You front loaded it with a lot of
Sure.
old WWE people. So if you're not quite sure, you're a Lapsed fan, you're like, oh, I know those guys. They may be under a different name, but I can't agree. 3 matches in 2 hours, so many video packages, no X Division, but where is your X Division?
Well, another thing, the AMC app sucks ass. Let me just tell you
Yes.
guys. I missed quite some like significant parts of the show because it would just cut through commercials and all that. By all means, if you can watch on something besides the AMC app, please do, because it was ridiculous there. Fightful Select reported a number of visa issues, but also Steve Macklin ain't at the show. That's puzzling to me. He's one of the best guys that they got there.
Honestly.
Obviously, Fightful Select reported the Rascals were headed to AEW, and that happened. We had reported an awful lot of stuff, but like, let's talk about the people they brought in. Specifically, one gentleman they brought in, Perez Hilton, and I was like, what is this for? Who is this for? And people say, oh my gosh, he's huge. He's huge. Cresta, let me show you the tweet that he put out. Look at those engagement numbers. 12 likes on the Perez Hilton TNA post. Who watched because of him? My tweet making fun of his tweet got 10 times the engagement.
You know, listen, I'm trying to be positive, Pete. Everybody's looking for their Logan Paul. Everybody's looking for their Miz. So listen, if this was 2003, 2005,
Yeah,
maybe even 2011, you got it. There was a lot of things on TNA tonight. I was like, I don't know who this is for.
Well, I'll tell you who at least one thing was for. It was for me, and it was seeing my good friend Wheezy and Alex, Queen of the Ring. I love seeing them. But I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't know what type of production meeting was held when they start to show these celebrities and they show AJ Francis and they show the streamers, because what you see behind them is an ocean of emptiness.
Oh, I saw that. It was yo, I don't know. You should have Thunderdomed it. You should have put like
you just put them all in the same area. But like you have a row and you don't show them all at the same time. You show them intermittently. That way you can move people in and out of there. That's what WWE does. Those people most of the time aren't just sitting there the entire time. They're moved in and out, or they're backstage or something. And like, listen, every wrestling company at some point has an ocean of empty seats. There ain't no shame in it. TNA is doing way better business than they used to. But also, I'm like, why show all that? Oh my God.
There were a lot of questionable things tonight, and that was definitely one of them.
One of the things that I saw a lot of is, why does the audio backstage sound so bad? Well, welcome to TNA, my friends, because it just sounded like they were in like a little tabletop fishbowl for a long time, and it didn't change with AMC. But we do have some super chats and humper chats to get to.
Heck yeah.
Who did TNA blackmail to get a TV deal that sucked? I mean, listen, it doesn't suck. The TV deal is good. It's a very good deal. But yes, I'll be nice. I'm happy TNA got a TV deal, says Mega. We got Blind saying, who is this show for? Listen, you're going to have a lot of you're going to have a lot of TNA loyalists say I'm like really picking on TNA, but the show was bad tonight. There were some good things that I enjoyed, but Love's Dog Avery says that show was horrid. And Lupongi Vice says fashion icon Cresta. I mean, she's always a fashion icon. We knew that.
I'm going to be fashionably here because, listen, I want to be really positive for TNA. It's a big deal that they have an AMC deal, that they're on TV. I think, again, front-loading it with ex-WWE stars was the greatest thing that they could do. And, again, I want to believe the visa issues. But there was AJ Francis in the crowd, whether you hate him or love him, and not wrestling tonight was a choice. That he's taking all your Joe Hendry credit. I don't see why he wasn't on TV tonight.
Leon Slater not at the building because WWE wanted him for a European tour. Now, I do also agree. Like, if the trade was you all get Leon Slater for your European tour and AJ's going to show up on the show, sure, I can get behind that. But also, I do think there is an argument to be made that Leon Slater wrestling tonight would have been better than AJ Styles coming out and saying, "Hey guys, AMC, AMC, AMC." And I'm like, listen, your boy is as big a Breaking Bad fan as anybody. I've chanted AMC loudly in my room a number of times. When I watched El Camino, AMC. When I watched the first season of Walking Dead, I was standing up on my table. AMC, Better Call Saul, AMC. I was not chanting that tonight. I was not. This sullied the name of AMC. It can't be doing that.
Not sullied. Not sullied.
How'd you? Later on, we saw AJ Styles confront Frankie Kazarian and just kind of smirk at him. How did you feel about the usage of AJ Styles on this show?
Say something nice, Cresta. You know, for the way you advertised him, I thought for a hot second he was going to insert himself in that triple and make it a triple threat at the end of the night and then somehow screw Santana over. Would I have hated that? Yes. But would I have got AJ Styles in the match? Also, yes. This is the second time you're like, AJ Styles, and AJ Styles came out and said, hey, and then left. Get it how you live it. Get it how you live it. On the one hand, I don't blame AJ Styles. To him back in the days, you got to get your jokes in.
People will only tolerate him coming out and being like, yo, what's up? So many times. Like,
yeah.
Why is he still hanging out at his alma mater? I'm like, we don't need him there anymore. And not every day is homecoming for you. Like, sometimes, like, listen, we got to get the pads back on, put the helmet on, and go run some plays or something. If you're going to hang around this much, buddy. I understand that some people would have seen this as a decent trade. It's just, I think that having Leon Slater and an absolute hamper, I would have went that route. I would have, instead of reminding people why it is they used to watch TNA, I would remind people why they should watch TNA.
Period.
And we do have the Hardy Boys and Elijah defeating Order 4. I didn't hate this match. I thought it was fine. And again, I like the placement of them front loading the Hardys up here and Elijah, who a lot of people are familiar with. I think Order 4 are great. Order 4 have been just fantastic in the ring. After the match, the Hardy Boys and Elijah won. Special Agent attacks afterwards, and the Righteous jump in. I like the Righteous as well. We get Jeff Hardy chained by the ear and held like to a turnbuckle. I honestly thought this was one of the better things on the show, and I didn't like it that much because I don't know. I felt like it minimized Order 4 a lot, but I also understand right now the Hardys are two of the biggest stars in TNA. They are objectively two of the biggest draws in TNA. Cresta.
Yeah, no, again, like I said before, it was a good idea to have all these familiar faces at the front of the show. I mean, I think it's also a good idea to have someone like Ali and the rest of Order 4 in the front part of the show. My one critique about it is I thought there'd be more of this throughout the show. Whether you hated it or loved it, I think it was a good display of, hey, there's a lot of familiar faces here that you may recognize. Same thing going back to if you've never seen Tasha Steelz, or if you've never seen The Good Hands, or if you're unfamiliar with Ali's work, which I'm a wrestling fan, but I can see how you wouldn't be. It's a good idea, but it also gave me false hope because I thought there'd be more wrestling.
I did too. I thought when your show was called Total Nonstop Action and you made a concentrated decision to change back to that name, you would have more action on there. But what we saw was Ryan Nemeth come out getting crotched and chopped. Not crotch chopped, though, by a couple celebrities that I have no idea of whom they are.
He fell on his own crotch for what it's worth.
He did. He did all the heavy work there, and that is a thing that happened. Backstage, we see Santino approach Cedric, who is now no longer getting an X Division title shot at Genesis because Leon Slater is not around. So in addition to pulling Leon Slater from their first show, they pulled him from their pay-per-view as well. And instead, it's going to be Cedric versus Moose versus Joe Hendry. And then when Santino says his name, it pops up on the phone. I felt like this was at least unoffensive in that sense. And if you're going to pull Leon Slater, I do think that Joe Hendry is a nice alternate, albeit the people that are pumped to see Leon Slater are probably not going to be pumped to see Joe Hendry.
There's a middle ground there, but at least have Joe Hendry show up. I mean, I don't know, man. I like this, but I'm of the mind that if Leon Slater is your champion, at some point, your champion needs to be on your show. Put your foot down. It was one thing when Trick Williams did it because Trick Williams was contracted to TNA. To NXT. I get that. But Leon Slater is still legally contracted to you guys. You have to make him defend it. Stand up. Stand up.
You got to have a spine, especially when they've got that gold. And let me tell you, we're trying to give people some gold, Cresta. And some erect penises with Blue Chew Gold. By God, you know what time it is. It's time to level up. It's time to make sure you've got that championship performance. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. Was your debut performance with somebody a little bit flaccid and you want to make sure that you make a good impression? Well, Blue Chew Gold has you covered. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is a 4-in-1 beast that's setting the standard for performance, that gold standard. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and the connection in your brain and body. It dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes, which is about the amount of action we saw tonight. But don't keep yourself limited to that amount of action. Use Blue Chew Gold. We got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with the code FIGHTFUL. That's the promo code FIGHTFUL. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank them. They have been our longest running sponsor. They have been our sponsor since TNA was on the Pursuit Network or Pop TV or one of those.
Jesus.
Since the Schitt's Creek era, since they were the lead-in for Schitt's Creek. You know, that is such TNA luck, Cresta. The fact that became a hit show like years after it was the lead-in, or had TNA as a lead-in, but go figure.
TNA up Schitt's Creek.
Cresta, I feel, have I told you the story about my friend who had a hunting show? Have I told you this story?
Maybe, but also sometimes I forget, and that's a lot of the time. So tell it again.
And I promise this is a compliment for TNA now, right? Like, I've told this story a number of times on the show, but you all get to hear it again. I live in Kentucky, right? And once upon a time, my wife's best friend had her now husband over, and I was meeting him, and he's like, yeah, I do a DIY hunting show and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. There's a wrestling show that I cover that is on a hunting channel. It's on the Pursuit Network. And I was like, man, and honestly, listen, it ain't getting good viewership. You could probably get on that channel. And he looked at me and he said, dude, I am on that channel. And his show aired 2 hours after TNA Impact. And I was like, man, how far we have come to where it is now on the same channel as some of the greatest shows in history.
There's a chance. Share the writer's room. You never know. Hey, you never know. Maybe they could, greatness through osmosis.
Yeah. Will Chisholm says, all I can give TNA is no Tessa Blanchard. Good job. This gives me WWE, ECW, and sci-fi vibes. Hilarious. At least there was something so bad it was good on ECW and sci-fi. Do I see Steve Maclin leaving this year? No, because his deal would have had to have been renewed, and they mentioned him on the injury report because they did a big injury report, and they said, well, Steve Maclin, even though he's really great, he's not here.
He needs to be one of the faces of your company at this point. He's put in the work. Yeah. He's so sensational. And, bro, I know he's injured, but also, what are we doing with Steven Maclin? What's happened?
He's good. He's fine. Okay. Last Ride says, I can't believe they botched it. Actually, let's go for that one later. Noise says, I was never a TNA fan, but I came in hoping to like the show. That was extremely below average and at worst, outright embarrassing. Really sad to see, honestly. Listen, TNA saved my love for wrestling during a period where I was getting more into MMA and UFC and Strikeforce and combat sports and all that. And WWE had really disenfranchised me at that point. And TNA honestly really saved it. And it just hasn't been that way in a very long time, unfortunately. I think they kind of forgot who they were and what brought them to the dance. And I think they have felt very satisfied being, oh, we're WWE affiliated and all that, because this felt like a very WWE show, Cresta.
No, I won't lie. And to your point, I've said this a million times. I'm always so appreciative of TNA. TNA is the reason why I'm working here, being able to do shenanigans on this channel with you guys. I really do miss the days of competitive booking, of even if it wasn't cohesive, it was funny. And now it just kind of gives, it is what it is, and you're going to take it. It's very reminiscent of WWE 2018, 2019. It is what it is, and what are you going to do, not watch? And I don't like that for TNA. I think TNA is great. I think about their X division in particular. It is in shambles right now. Everybody's gone. And the people who are left, you don't push them, or it's the system or hometown man. Nothing against them, but where are your young people? In order for, what are we doing? It makes me upsetty spaghetti because I want more for them.
Patrick Moore says Cresta is positive because hometown man didn't show I'm positive. They got through it. It'll get better, right? Yeah, I do think it'll get better. I hope they listen. Listen, there are people on TNA's own team that heavily criticize the creative. And listen, all due respect to Bully Ray, I think he is, I think he gets maybe a bad rap sometimes for some of his takes, but I see him doing commentary tonight, and I'm like, that's not the guy you need to add to creative, and I feel like it's headed that direction. I think they need somebody fresh and different to contribute significantly, and I like Tommy Dreamer. I don't think I've ever spoken to Delirious Hunter Johnston, but I feel like you need a fresh approach there. And hometown man's visa didn't get taken care of, so he wasn't there tonight. So go figure.
And that's a Joel beef. He hates that guy.
He does a lot of agenting too. So Northern Composure says former Schitt's Creek lead up to TNA #2. Schitt's Creek was so funny though. It was such a great show. Well, that show Harm TV Wrestling, it was poopy, says Meat Normus. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. But I will tell you one thing I liked. Here we go. One thing I liked this week on In the Weeds. I think the best morning show in wrestling. I came by and I mentioned to people, I was told there was an out of left field appearance for TNA. And it certainly was. The retired Sonya Deville, now Daria Ray, comes out and looks like $1 million. What just a wonderful human, first off, but a lovely woman, incredible star look quality there. And she does a heel promo on Santino, and it looks like she is going to be another authority figure. I don't believe she's planned to wrestle. I am all for Daria being a part of this company because I think you need to scale back Santino a bit. The bit is getting a little old, as his bit does. And quite frankly, I am so overseeing authority figures in TNA in general. It was Scott D'Amore, and it's Carlos Silva with his little hat because he loves to be on TV. And it's all these people that just love to be on TV. And I'm ready for something a little bit different, and I think Daria can provide that.
Oh, I agree. One bright spot about TNA is always going to be their knockouts division. And to me, she slots in where we've lost a lot of people. If she chooses to wrestle, she can put her point across. You know who she reminds me of? old MVP when he first came back to TNA, that I'm going to do what I want. And then if I really have to, I'm going to wrestle. Wouldn't hate it if she went into business for herself, quote unquote. I liked this. I just, again, my concern is, where do we go with this? Who does she side with? Is she a jerk? I'm going to let it breathe. I like this. She did like $1 million. That outfit was killer, dude.
Yep. She's great. I mean, I think she'll be a good representative for the brand too. I know they've had Ash by Elegance doing a lot of non-wrestling stuff as well while she's out. I think she's a good one to have there. Uh-oh, look at her doing blow. Look at her. Oh, God.
I'm doing blow my nose. I mean, unless y'all want to hear me
I did that once and everybody thought I was doing rails.
Sean, everybody hates you. You don't know that? Everybody hates you, bro. Everybody hates you.
Oh, my God. We got Ariana Grace backstage. She's great, by the way. Here's a fun fact, guys. I think I'm allowed to reveal this much. In 2019, I think it was late 2019, I was pretty sure Denise was going to get hired by WWE. And it might have been 2020, actually. I can't remember. But I put out there, hey, guys, might be looking for another co-host down the line, etc. And a young Ariana Grace contacted me. And nothing got far enough for it to be anything, but she was the one person of whose stuff I looked at and I go, okay, I might have a Denise replacement on Mondays here. And Denise is unhireable, so she didn't end up going there.
Damn. She'll be hearing from her lawyers.
Yeah, please, by the way, guys, please check out her show in Vegas. It's the Friday before WrestleMania at noon at Circa. I will be there all throughout the week doing stuff, but I'm also, of course, going to go support my friend Denise. Might do a little Fightful meetup there at that as well. So proud of Denise and what she's doing. But check out Circa Las Vegas, the official hotel of Fightful for WrestleMania week. We ain't sending Joel this year, Cresta.
You sending Cresta?
I'm going.
I don't care about this anymore.
Anyway, Ariana Grace is back there with Stacks, etc. We've got the reveal of Mr. Elegance.
Not Jeremy Lambert, 0 out of 10.
It's not. It's Andreas John Ziegler. He looks like $1 million. He looks incredible. I mean, I don't know if he can work. Don't know. Got no frame of reference for that. But that's cool. And then we get Perez Hilton out there with them because, like, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, that was very... I hate saying this because I think, honestly, sometimes it's a little bit worse than Mark. This is very LOL TNA. Yikes. We started off strong. It's only January. That's not the first LOL TNA. And I don't know which was worse, that or Dixie, because, whoa.
Listen, your boy was a fan of Dixie. We'll talk about that when we get there. But I love Dixie. But we get the Elegance brand beating the Iinspiration. This was not a good match. And I had to go back and watch it because the AMC app was trying to fuck on me. It just stayed on commercial, and I refresh, and they're doing a roll-up against a team that is leaving, which we'll get to momentarily. Cresta, your thoughts on this match, what you got to see of it?
Shout out to my friend in Discord who had to go on his actual, cable app to then go to the AMC channel to then see what was going on. I mean, okay. In fairness, it's an Ash by Elegance. I mean, it's an Elegance brand match. I know what I'm here for. I know what's about to happen. However, how can you get up as the president of the company and hand two people the title who just cheated? Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Yikes. You should have sat there. You should have sat there and ate your food. And that's what I was like, yo, this is a very unserious episode, and I chose to be sports entertained. So I mean, I knew what it was. Like, once they lost, like, oh, so they're not staying. And it's like, oh, they're not staying. And there's nothing wrong with the Elegance brand right now being tag title champions, because who else is in your tag division? You don't got Spitfire. You don't got Rosemary and Havoc. Where's Havoc? You know, like,
So this match, it was not good. The Iinspiration have finished up with TNA. So FightfulSelect.com. Please subscribe, my friends. Just a metric ton of scoops this week alone. Their deals had been up around the time they won the titles, and I don't think that they had contracts at any point from that. And they were open to staying with TNA, from what I understand. But now they've got outside interest. And TNA loses the other tag team they have that doesn't have a title around their waist, because Liang Li has a championship. But listen, either the options for the Iinspiration are AEW, which is starting up a women's tag team division, or WWE that has a women's tag division, or I have always said NXT, because my God, they know how to work everywhere. They can coach these girls. They cut way better promos than every woman in NXT, and it ain't even close. I think that they are naturals for that sort of area and that landscape as well. Plus, CW loves nationally exposed talent, but these two women have options, and they are free agents now, Cresta.
I used to think the Iconics were so annoying when I first started watching wrestling. But when they left, you could really see that the women's division was missing that kind of all-around good comedy, consistent act. And then you made a tag division right after that. Them and the Riot Squad absolutely deserve a tag run. And I hate to say it, but that's got to come back, man. AEW, I love you, but no.
Wherever I see them next, how I want them to come back is I want somebody to find a resume backstage and be like, oh, look at this. I always pitched that for NXT. I was like, Billie Kay should be an authority figure, and Ava should find her application under a stack. And then that's like she manages like a whole brand or a division or something. Billie Kay is... Jess McKay is so funny.
Them versus Chelsea Green and have Nick Aldis find it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is gold. Chelsea Green versus... Book it. If you don't, you're a coward. I'm sorry.
Will Chisholm says, I think Jada Parker's a better promo. She is a good promo. I would say, probably with the exception of her. When they are left to their own devices, they're very good. Tino Barrera says, I want to be positive for TNA, but TNA won't let me. We're trying. Lupongi Vice says, felt like I was watching community theater coming from a former community thespian.
Don't do that to community theater. I've seen many a good lay miserable rather in a community theater. Don't do that.
C. Delgado says, food poisoning, or did someone send Joel the rundown early and he got sick reading it? That's suspicious.
I thought, I was like, oh, Joel, you think you're funny? You invite me and then say, I'm sick.
I just want to say, like, the number of things that Joel just outright predicts about this, and he'll hit my DMs and he'll be like, just so you know, this is happening. He's like, I don't have the insight, but it's going to happen. Like, he does that a lot. Will Chisholm says, AJ looking at the title was to think Frankie was winning, or are they doing him and AJ? I don't think that they are committed to an AJ Styles match whatsoever. I haven't heard anything resembling that, Cresta, and that's unfortunate.
I think if they were going to do an AJ Styles match, it would have been versus Leon Slater at Bound for Glory last year. Yeah. The fact that it didn't happen, I think AJ Styles is here to be like, oh, you want AJ? You want you want AJ?
Gotta be quicker than that.
Yeah, you gotta be quicker than you want the AJ. Oh no. If I'm AJ, considering what I know about the lore of AJ Styles in TNA, man, I wouldn't wrestle either. I'd be P. Diddy and this one dancing up in your videos in the background of all your promos. I don't care. I'm not. Heck, y'all.
Wow. We get the promo from the system because Eddie Edwards is facing JDC in his final match. And this absolutely dog shit crowd is out there wanting Eddie Edwards. Now, listen, any other day, I'm like, sure, what to your heart's content? It's stupid. You're a dork. No girl will ever love you, but do it, I guess. But like, we're talking about a promo to set up JDC's last match. And JDC had to kind of cut off Eddie Edwards and be like, hey guys, you're a great crowd and this locker room is great. And I'm having my last match ever. Basically saying, hey, will y'all please stop being dicks? Will you all cut it out? I felt so bad for JDC and Eddie Edwards here.
Literally wrote, this crowd sucks. However, as someone who used to live in Texas, that's Texas. Hey, Texas, you'll never beat your hater-ass state allegations. I get it. It's the system. But it's also JDC's last match. But to be fair to the crowd, I had to sit through the rest of TNA before that. So, hey, everyone's getting booed. Everybody's getting booed. Everybody's getting booed.
One thing I sort of skipped over, which, by the way, JDC is such a lovely human being. What a gentleman he is. Really like that guy and excited for him in his next step. But they also are going to reveal the next member of the system next week. And like, I'm not reporting it, but it seems like it'd be like Matt Taven or somebody like that. So
Jeremy Lambert.
Yeah, right. Well, we did get a new member of the roster because Daria revealed that the former Cora Jade, Elena Black, is in TNA. Now, to me, if you are allowing WWE to use all your talent whenever they want, you should be able to say, hey, WWE, can we just call this girl Cora Jade and use her theme from NXT? Can we just go ahead and do that? Like, do you mind? You're letting USA use Braun Strowman for the show where he eats like 17 chicken sandwiches in a row. Like, so can we just call her Cora Jade? But it's not, it's Elena Black, which I've got no problem with. I really hope that the in-ring work has stepped up because they need some really good women's workers right now, Cresta.
I am not familiar with this young lady's work. And when she was in TNA before, I still was unfamiliar with this young lady's work. Word on the street is that she's a deathmatch goddess like Candice LeRae. I have yet to see it. And I will reserve judgment because right now the Knockouts division is in shambles. And yeah, I'm on the Tessa Blanchard hate train. I'm not gonna hold you. So if that's the best person you got, it's got to be something else. It's got Danny Luna being away is irking my balls, Sean.
So speaking of, Danny Luna is not competing for the Knockouts Championship at Genesis because of visa issues against Lee Yang Lee, who's out there with Zaya Brookside. So Sol Ruka and Zarya of NXT come out, and everybody thinks that it's going to be Sol Ruka. And then she goes, no, it's going to be Zarya. She deserves this chance. This is a good match. If you're going to not have Danny Luna, I think that having Zarya there is a very, very good move. I like that. That's fine. I'm good with this. This was pretty good. Are you muted? You're muted.
Yeah, because I was coughing. I didn't want to cough like a man in your ear.
Oh.
So, like I was saying, you know that I love big, meaty men, big, meaty women slapping meat. And these are women of various sizes slapping meat. I know this is going to be great. I think Zarya, TNA has a very specific women's roster, and I love it.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's 2 to 3 big, muscly, meaty women at the top. In lieu of Danny Luna, love Zarya. Yailin Yi, amazing. I hope Zaya Lee don't turn on her. I mean, Zaya Brookside doesn't turn on her. It's a lot. That's a lot. Those two together, I hate it.
I agree.
But hell yeah to this match. Hell yeah to even with her and Sol Ruka. Hell yeah.
If I were TNA, I would be looking at all those women that Bailey brought into her Lodestone camp. I'd be bringing in Gabby Forza. If somebody's training with Natty, I'd be like, hey, Erica Demia, why don't you come do some spots for our show? I'd be like, Brittany Brooks, what are you doing? Like, hey, why don't you come on in and do some of this stuff? Like,
exactly.
I would be looking at all the Notorious Mimi. Come work our shows. Like, I'm not saying I could scout talent for them better, but I could. Nikki Blackheart, as somebody mentioned. Like,
There's so many people on the independent scene right now, and also considering you've lost so much of your talent to AEW, WWE, NXT, and even if they're signed to you, you're not getting to use them. Now is the time to prove why, like, compliment, also kind of like not compliment, prove to them why you're the cockroach of the wrestling world. Rebuild you've done it 8 times out of this ain't the first time. This is not going to be the last time. And I've seen what TNA has done for others. That's why I'm kind of hopeful. I know you have it in you. I just don't know if they're going to take everything good from you. Because I unfortunately I see Steve Macklin eventually leaving as well.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I were NXT, I'd want Steve Macklin as well. He's proven he can wrestle at a great level. He's very familiar with the system. I'd want him coaching the kids in NXT. Steve Macklin is a wrestling genius. Like, that guy is going to be one of the most influential agent, coaches, producers down there. Ben Bishop, I've been begging for them to sign Ben Bishop. He's funny. He's a big dude. He's in shape. He can work. And I'm just told, I don't think his time is right now. Brooke Havoc is out there. Like, there's so much fresh talent. There's so much fresh talent, Cresta. And listen, occasionally they do hit on a former WWE or AEW guy. Mike Santana, a hit. AJ Francis was a hit for them with what he has done in TNA.
He's making it work, yeah.
Yes, like, he has become everything that he's said that he would be. Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm baffled that they don't bring in more new, fresh talent. And I think that's something that they need to do. People that aren't globally exposed. Feast or Fired next week. Could Macklin exit there? Maybe as an angle, but I think he's going to stay on the show. I think they'd be ridiculous to let him go.
Okay. I thought they'd be ridiculous to let all 4 Rascals go.
That's a good point.
But
they did negotiate with the Rascals, but Tony Khan made it clear that he wanted them. And then it was like, oh, by the way, I want all 4 of them. And listen, Myron's my dude. I officiated his wedding, for the love of God, Cresta. I was very happy about that because this is life-changing for all of them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they weren't getting a WWE offer just because Dez just left. Like, so there wasn't, that wasn't going to happen. But there's so many fresh people they could bring in. And that's one of the things I remember. It was like 05, Cresta, and just randomly TNA is like, hey, you ever heard of Roderick Strong and Austin Aries? No, they're about to wrestle on our pay-per-view. You're about to find out who they are. And I watched their match and I was like, damn, those guys are good. And I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, they did that with I had never heard of oh my goodness, what was the group Danny Luna was in with Flash Morgan Webster at
Oh yeah.
I never heard of never heard of them before, but they were in there. I was like, oh my God, these guys are fantastic. I think one of TNA's strong suits is short-term booking, short-term contracts with wrestlers to bring them in for a couple of tapings, rotate them out. Again, as an independent girly who likes to go to independent shows in New York City, there are so many men and women, and right now your men's division is hurting. I think there's a lot of heels. You might need some more baby faces, but there's so many dudes out here alone that you could do to replenish, especially your X division, especially your tag division. There's main event from House of Glory that would absolutely be perfect for TNA TV. But I don't know, because I think of someone like that getting good in TNA and WWE is like,
Cresta, an agent asked me for a list of talent that I think should be signed at the beginning of December. I gave them 20 names and 5 of them are already signed. TNA could have signed some of those people. I've been like somebody mentioned J-Rod. Guys, if you all don't know who J-Rod is, go Google J-Rod. Go Google J-Rod, because she's a fucking American Gladiator. And I mean that literally. She's on American Gladiators and she's wrestling. Why does TNA not immediately look at her and say, oh, well, we should have her. She looks like $1 million. I mean, listen, they blew it with Alex Hammerstone. They let him go. Richard Holiday. Why is Richard Holiday not signed by anybody? How is Nikki Blackheart not signed by anybody?
I still think about Jessica Havoc. What happened with that?
She's just chilling. Calvin Tankman is out there. There are these people that Joe Alonzo is like so charismatic.
Oh my God, Joe Alonzo is so funny. Holy shit.
He's really good. Like these people are really good. And
Kid
I'm like,
Bandit, come on, dog.
Yeah, there's some fresh people. I mean, Izzy is out there working every single weekend and doing better than a lot of people twice her age. I'm just like, yeah, somebody brought up LeBron, like, and WWE is going to snatch him up. He's going to get signed by WWE, guys.
Yeah.
Like, you missed your chance. But listen, if I were a betting man, I would say that they're going to have to sign some new, fresh talent soon. But I am a betting man. And right now, you can be too when you go to MyBookie AG. They're going to have some wrestling odds up for Royal Rumble. Having a little meeting with MyBookie soon to talk some strategy. But you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. And when you use the code FIGHTFUL, you get a great bet back bonus with MyBookie. They treat you so well. They've got table games, live casinos. You can bet with Bitcoin. They got slot games, all that good stuff, and the best support system in the business. We only want you to bet what you can. And please bet responsibly. But man, your boy has been making that money on the NFL playoffs. I bet on the Bears to win. I bet on the Steelers to lose. And it was really good. It was really good to me. I put a bet. I got really good odds on the Raptors making the NBA playoffs. And I'm feeling really good about that right now. But yesterday on the hump, we had Small Afro saying, yeah, I put some money on Tiffany Stratton last year on MyBookie using that code FIGHTFUL. And I made myself some coin. So if you think it's so predictable, if you think it's so easy, go ahead over to MyBookie AG. Use our little link there. Use our code as well. MyBookie AG. If anything, just go slap a click on that link, my friends. Oh, Cresta, I felt so bad for Dixie Carter, who got brought out by Carlos Silva. I thought that she would get a warm reception.
There's no way. There's no way you thought that. There's no way.
I did. I really did. I thought enough time had passed that she would get
one of the most hated in professional wrestling. Even I know that. Yeah, there's no way. No, bro. She's not the most, but she's up there.
It's been a decade. And she still got booed. And I understand, like, listen, some of the decisions were bad, of course, but I was like, my God, man, really? Time doesn't heal all wounds here?
Listen, this is the most measured take I can give you. In professional wrestling, a lot of things can be forgiven unless you block my fave and you're a woman. So maybe if this was somebody else, maybe. Because, I mean, we still kind of cheer Bully Ray, even though he did a lot of messed up things. But Dixie Carter, you blocked a lot of my faves. And chat said it. The lady that fired AJ Styles?
Yeah, that's true.
Nah. You could go to hell with a handbag. You the reason why he won't wrestle on this show.
Oh, Tim News just says, someone do LOL TNA with number 1 or number 2 promotion on. Yeah, I mean, it was not good. It was an absolute god-awful dumpster fire. This is your debut. WWE pulling Slater. One of their 4 big pay-per-views is objectively hilarious. LOL TNA. I mean, I don't find it funny. I find it sad. I find it sad.
Stand up. Fight for yourself, please.
Somebody says, in a way, Dixie's responsible for TNA getting on AMC, so they should be thankful. I mean, if Dixie played things the right way, they'd be on Paramount and Paramount Plus right now, to this day. But they're not. Ashton Clay says, I hope Starboy Charlie gets signed. He's great. He would be a good fit on NXT for sure. What's the chance of Gigi Dolan or Shotzi in TNA? I would say that there's pretty solid chances because, you know, they absolutely love people who have been in WWE. Love it. Shotzi
would be great for that, though. Shotzi would be amazing.
She would be. Kind of bad when the NXT stars had better aura and presence than a lot of the TNA roster, unfortunately. But we did get Santana defeating Kazarian, and the match it felt like it was rushed for time. The ref bump spot was very weird. I don't know what that was. Like, Santana misses his spin the block and then just looks at the ref, and then Kazarian barely kicks the ref. And I hear spin the block 400 times in every Santana match. And I'm like, we get it. We get it. I'm glad that Santana won. I love the Angels wings during the match as well. Kazarian paying homage to Daniels. Bully Ray was not good on commentary. He had a bunch of one-liners. The hardest part of the ring. Justified, this is awesome chance. And I'm like, we get it. It's a thing that Tony tweets. I felt like this was rushed. And I feel like on a show where you had to pull a bunch of shit because of visas, this should not have been rushed. A show that had 3 matches, this should not have been rushed. An angle of which you delayed from Slammiversary when Santana should have won the title to Bound for Glory, and then you took it off him right after to get heat, and you took it off of him just so you could give him that moment on AMC. Why you rush this? Why do you rush this? Give this 20, 25 minutes, not like 15. Give this all the time that these two gentlemen want. Mike Santana deserved better. I'm glad he got his moment, but they rushed this for those two guys, and they deserved better. 16, 17 minutes. I'm sorry. Not enough for Santana even. It should have been 20, 25 minutes. That's how I feel about this.
Considering you only had 2 other matches on the card. Before this, mind you,
neither of which exceeded 9 minutes.
Brother. Before that, we had Carlos Silver and Dixie Carter. Before that, we had the system.
Got to get Carlos on the show, by the way.
Bro, we could have cut the Genesis card thing. The TNA World Title video package really didn't need to be there. You could have given this more time. Listen, there's no Mike Santana slander. Never. Kazarian, I'm happy for you in the sense of you deserve it. But don't be mad, Cressa. Try to be... I seen this with Joe Hendry, and it didn't make me feel good then. And then for you to do it again, but way worse to Mike Santana, doesn't make me feel good because you are bleeding talent. And if I'm Mike Santana in that moment, why would I stay here? Why would I stay here? At worst, I'll be stooging with Don Callis, or at best, I'm doing a quick hot 2-1 step in NXT, and then I'm on the main roster. Why would I put my blood, sweat, and tears to help you guys get over, to carry the torch, to do all of that, to be the standard that y'all let Josh Alexander be, for you to play hot potato and not even give it a good storyline? I wouldn't care if Frankie Kazarian got it. If there was a good storyline, if you didn't spend months building up Santana. And that's what the most frustrating thing about it is. If that was supposed to be the cherry on top for your live TV episode, man... You're lucky I chose to be sports entertained. I'm happy for Mike Santana.
You can tell exactly when they found out they were getting the AMC deal for sure. It was after Bound for Glory. It was between Bound for Glory and when they took the title off Mike Santana, because they said, oh, well, we got to do something special for that first. How about this? How about you just book a good show? You could have had Mike Santana carry that title into this and had him... You get a Mike Santana versus Leon Slater. Do world champion versus X Division champion if you have to. Have them do something like that. Have something where people would go, holy shit, I gotta watch TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they dropped the ball tonight. Last Ride says, I can't believe they botched the ending twice if that isn't the most TNA thing. Ernie says the show was square root of -1. Do you know if Santana signed a new deal? I'm almost certain that he did. Almost certain that he did. There's no way that they would put the title on him if he didn't, I don't think. Well, you know what? They put the titles on Iinspiration when their deals went up. So, but I'm almost certain he's there. This video package look how good we used to be. Exactly. And there is talent. There's no reason why it needs to be like that. Tin Ruza says, TK about to book TNA guys so well. Josh versus Kenny. They have been pilfered of top-notch talent because they can't hold on to, they're not paying these people enough money. There's one or two people making real money there.
It makes me sad because I think of people like Trey Miguel who loves TNA. They love that place.
Well,
They would stay if
not
you
by the
had,
time he left.
I mean, I would leave too. I mean, very respectfully, I love TNA, but I would dip out on TNA too because I know what you about to do to me. And if I did it for the love of the game, I would get F'd in the A. Sorry. You've done it to better men. You've done it to better men. People will stay for a storyline. You're not even doing that. So I can't defend you when you acted like this, TNA. All I could do is be sports entertained and pray for better times.
Nico sends a very generous super chat. Thank you so much. Says, glad TNA has a deal. Happy to see Elena Black back in her little black backpack, perhaps. Hopefully, they can put together some good shows. But tonight, WTF did they drag Perez Hilton out of 06 to say, remember 06? The company was big back then. This guy was too kinda. Yeah, I thought we were about to see Soulja Boy. I thought we were about to see Salad Fingers come out there and be like, hello, would you like to see an X Division match? That's too fucking bad because you're not going to. Yeah, maybe that. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe we'll see Hippopotamus with the noodles on his back and all that. All those people, all the stars are out.
Nyan
From
Cat,
2006. But it didn't happen. Unfortunately. I agree. I don't really particularly care about Perez Hilton one way or another, but it's very clear by the numbers that did nothing for you. Nothing.
Nothing.
What do you see the future of Anthem Sports being? I have to be completely honest. I do not know how that company makes money. I don't understand it. Quite frankly, I've never understood how Invicta makes money, which is their fight championship, their fighting company. TNA, I don't know what maybe if they've got a rights fee deal and it's not like an ad deal or a barter deal, it's just tough to really know. But they've been around for 15 years. It doesn't appear that they're going anywhere anytime soon. So I think they'll still be around.
I hope so. I mean, at this point, I kind of see it like a feeder to the feeder. And sometimes that's okay too. Sometimes you got to get your feet wet, and that's okay too.
Yeah. Ernie wraps us up by saying, tonight reminded me of ECW went to TNN. Now, listen, I will not settle for that because I was an ECW and TNN fan. I loved ECW and TNN because that was my first exposure to it. And there are going to be a lot of kids. And I was a kid. I didn't know that this was like a sanitized ECW version I was watching. So I'm sure TNA is hoping, well, we're finally going to be in the homes of a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Now, not on Hulu Live, I learned tonight and had to get AMC Plus as a result. But the hope is that they recognize this opportunity and they improve. Yeah. Cresta, any parting words?
Listen, TNA, I believe in you. I think that if you're going to lull TNA at this point, just lean into the gimmick. And if you're going to lean into the gimmick, at least I know what to expect. There's room for more ooky, spooky, kooky, and sign some more people because the wells run dry. Everybody's leaving. I'm sure there's somebody in the independent scene who would like to consistently get paid, then maybe get paid in the independents. You know what I mean? I'm sure you could work something out. Yo, sign Sean Ross Sapp. He's done 2 matches. Do something. No, okay, don't sign
Sean like 50 Ross or 60. They already got BDE there, so they already got him there. But
I don't know, dog. I don't know. I want the best for TNA, but after tonight, it's like, in theory, all you can go is up.
We got Ernie saying, never, ECW was way better before TNN. Yeah, it was. I learned that later on. Of course, I did learn that later on. I'll wrap up by looking at these super chats and humper chats. Guys, Please support our great sponsors, Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL, but especially my bookie and the code FIGHTFUL. We would greatly appreciate if you all put your little money down over there. But FightfulSelect.com. Got my Q&A show this week coming up, probably tomorrow or Saturday. You boys tired. We broke a lot of news. We had WrestleVotes Radio today, and they dropped like 5 stories. But till next time, my friends, we're out.